a sure thing. Change, change. Expect a miracle change. Watch me change when you change the way you look at things. The things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things. The things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things. The things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things. The things you look at change. Now do 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 change. Do 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 change. Do 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 change. Do 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 do. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Spirit Cafe, and I'm your co-host, Barbara Schreiner-Trudell, and this is You Are Muted.
Of course I am.
That's the most popular phrase these days. You are muted.
I know. Remember Staples used to have a button? I think it said stop or something. We should have one that says you're muted. You just press the button, right? Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're coming from. It's wonderful to have you here. My name is Cheryl Rogers. And before we begin and introduce our wonderful guest, let me just acknowledge the land that we work, live, and play on, which is the historical and traditional territory of many First Nations. And as we gather on Turtle Island, we as settlers are grateful for the opportunity to meet here. And we thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. This includes the Métis, Inuit, and all other Indigenous people. We also acknowledge that as we continue to grow and expand on these lands, there is still unresolved and dangerous inequality and discrimination. And we are allies as we know that we are all one.
Well, our guest today is Reverend Janet Ellis, and she is an international speaker, published author, interfaith minister, and a manifestation coach specializing in personal resilience, emotional and spiritual wellness, leadership, and organizational renewal. She has inspired many groups and individuals to make positive changes in their lives. And through her company, Janet's Planets of Empowerment, she designs and delivers inspirational workshops, seminars, and keynote speeches. Welcome, Janet. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you. Good morning. Boy, she sounds pretty cool, doesn't she?
She sounds great. Yeah, I want to go back because we just did the land acknowledgement. I would like to go back to what you were sharing right before we had to go off.
Yeah.
And hide in the back for the opening. So tell us about this workshop that you attended. That sounded quite.
It was amazing. It was, and it's about mending broken hearts, unfinished business. Just taking a look at ourselves, what we're dragging along with us. And it's through the Native American group, and it was called the Native American Broken Mending Hearts group. There were 7 of us in Abilene, Texas, 2 facilitators, a mother and a daughter. And the first 2 days were videos of the Native American children who were forced into boarding schools. And they had images and pictures and everything in regards to what the kids were going through. These children are now adults, and they're sharing in this video their experience. If they spoke their native tongue, they were whipped. If they tried to wear their own clothing or keep their tradition, they were whipped. They were just traumatized beyond belief, along with being taken away from their parents and such. And so in one part of the video, I mean, I will never forget this, and it just breaks my heart even more. Yeah. I love that we're focusing on the African American situation, but we've taken this land away from these people. and nobody is doing anything about it. And this really, I can't just talk about it, but there was a scene where there were 50 Native American males on their horses riding from wherever they were located to Mankata, where 38 Native Americans were hung. And they gave no reason why they were hung, but they did show it occur. They'd put a bag over their head and they led each one of them out and up on a guillotine kind of thing. And they had the ropes and everything, and a lever was pulled and all 38 were killed. And then it said 38 plus 2, and there were 2 more that were killed after that. And the part that just floored me the most was Abraham Lincoln is the one that pulled the lever to hang those 38 men. And I just don't understand. I was shocked. Mm-hmm. And so these grown men are sobbing. I mean, they can't even talk because they're crying so hard. And it took them 8 days to get to that town. But the neat part about it is, as they traveled, the weather was getting worse and worse. I mean, ice was freezing the horses. The weather had gotten horrible where they couldn't ride. And people in each town would room and board their horses in that. And they'd feed them, and they'd give them homes to stay in. And they didn't expect any of this, but it was pretty. And in one scene, these women showed up and they had special sweatshirts made. We love you, and the name. I got goosebumps. It was the most powerful, heartbreaking weekend I've been in a long time, and it was very intense, and I was able to do some work I needed to do, and it was the Native Americans that brought me to that point. So I thank them in so many ways. It was just mind blowing. It was just, I don't know.
And it's important, like when we think about what has occurred, to have compassion for the result of it. And that's why the land acknowledgement is important to me, is to raise awareness, because I often meet people who go, yeah, but look at, they're addicts and they're alcoholics and blah, 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 all of this stuff. And I'm thinking, we created that mess.
We did that.
We did that.
Yeah.
And that's the result of the abuse we inflicted. Absolutely. And so we have a responsibility to become aware, like you did in the weekend. I've read a bunch of books and things. I'm going to a Sacred Fire next month.
Oh, wow.
But it's like we have a responsibility to understand what happened, so we can begin to find a way to move into that place of healing.
Yes.
And I don't know what the answer is, but I know awareness is a big part of it, which brings us back to our topic of authenticity. Because I think
before we go there, though, it really makes me feel, and I don't know what the wording of the Constitution is, but when we talk about freedom for all men and, all these kind of things, it just shows how white male
dominance
persona didn't see women as worthy, didn't see the indigenous as human beings, as men. And the same with any race of color.
Yes,
they were just not human. And I mean, it's just so disgusting. It's like,
isn't it?
It really is. It's like they made all these rules and regulations using words about, liberty for all, and meaning only liberty for white men.
White men.
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
It was mind blowing. And if I ever get an opportunity, I would love to share that with you, because it was an amazing. No, let me back up. It was a heart-wrenching retreat. But it certainly helped me break through some stuff I have needed to break through. So.
Yeah.
I'm doing National Indigenous Day is June 21st here in Canada, and we've had a lot of stuff around, digging up graves of
Yeah.
hundreds of young children.
Right.
And if you check your calendar for June 21st,
Okay.
7 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to do an hour-long thing to, meditation and
Oh,
prayer and just creating a consciousness of, peace and healing
Are
and
you doing that
possibility.
online, Bobs?
and what
I'm
time?
doing it online.
What
Mhm.
time?
Okay,
7 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
cool.
I'm
And
there.
we can talk about it next week, when we do the recording for the show. We
Okay.
can talk about it then, and Cheryl, we can talk about it as well, and I'll send you the
Yeah,
info.
yeah, please.
It's a free event. It'll be about, I was gonna make it for an hour. It might need to be 90 minutes, but
Yeah.
just to tell the stories and share the experiences and open our hearts to seeing a way to a new way. I have one Indigenous man who's going to be on as well. I have to talk to
Oh,
him about what that looks like. So
wonderful. And I'll get the information that I have from that workshop to share with you, and you can
Thank you. Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. I just want to say, I get angry and I say it's disgusting. And then I sit and I think to myself, it's part of evolution. It really is. It's like a toddler not knowing what they're doing wrong, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so I think that's important, that it doesn't excuse anything that happened. It doesn't excuse the atrocities. But I do think that it's important to realize that we are evolving and we are expanding consciousness, even though it seems at times
Yeah.
that that's not the case, right?
It's taking forever.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as well what we need to I think this is, for me, what I appreciate is that often things need to get worse before they get better. Things have to come to the surface in order to be dealt with, because if they don't, they're just bubbling under there continuously, and it doesn't mean they don't exist. It means
Right.
we're not seeing it and we're not acknowledging it. And if we don't acknowledge something, we know that we can't heal or change anything.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
exactly.
We
Well,
don't
sorry.
know that we don't know. I apologize. It's my we don't know that we don't know that we don't know.
Exactly.
We can't do anything.
Yeah.
Exactly. And when we think about this, I think the journey to authenticity is so important, because when we're living from our true self, we are less likely to go out of our way to harm others.
Right. Very
And
good.
I think that's where the healing comes in, I think, is when we heal in our own hearts so that we can then share that outward, right? I think that's the story, or the power in authenticity.
Right.
I wonder sometimes, though, if people even know what that means or can even be authentic anymore because of their conditioning and their BS, right? Their belief systems. Like, I think that, it's almost like being cut off from yourself.
Mhm.
Right? When we follow others and we just do and believe and say because others say so, instead of really going within and exploring, what is it that I believe? What is it that resonates with me? And yes, and having the courage, the guts to be authentic, because it takes courage.
Yeah, it does.
It does. I had in that retreat I was speaking about it at the end. There was this one lady, and she was sharing what she received from each one of us. And she looked at me and she said, I want to be you when I grow up. And I just kind of looked at her and I went, okay. And she said, you're so eccentric. And that has been a negative word for me for many years because of how it was used towards me. What you see is what you get. And no, I don't follow the crowd. And because of that, I don't have contact with family members. And because of that, I used to hear all the time, oh, that's Janet just being Janet, whatever that meant. And then I even went and looked up what eccentric meant in the dictionary just out of curiosity, because I wanted to be open to hear it as a compliment. So
Mhm.
it was
Yeah.
a nice gift for me.
Mhm. Mhm.
And they have a symptom for it now. There's a diagnosis for being eccentric. And I went, well, good gosh almighty, I'm more special than I thought.
Well, I think that's what we forget sometimes is that we've actually been created perfect, whole, and complete. We are
We say
unique and special.
We say that.
Yes.
We say that every Sunday. We say that every day. Well, not every day. We say that. But there's
And
a
then we
difference
try to
between,
conform.
yeah, exactly. There's a difference between action and words, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just
Taylor.
love it. That's my passion, if you'll allow me. My
Yes.
very first started working as a life coach. I thought that's what I wanted to do originally. And I took this workshop. I walked away from corporate world. I could not stand it anymore. I finally learned I was an extrovert sitting in a cubicle inputting numbers into a computer. And so
Ouch.
I'd get up and I'd walk to another cubicle and I'd chat with somebody, and I'd walk to another cubicle and I'd chat with somebody. And my boss would be chasing me down going, Janet, get back to your cubicle. And I finally one day I went over, my husband and I worked in the same place, and we had just gotten married, and I said, it's sanity or money. You got a choice. He goes, you don't make enough for sanity. So I quit. And it was in 2000 when everything was supposed to die and all that stuff. So a person who behaves in odd or unusual ways. That's me.
Love it.
That's all of us,
That's
actually.
fun if you'll claim it. So I went to this yoga center one day, and I'll never forget again. It's pouring down rain. It's cold. It's January 1st, 2000. And I figure, okay, I'm going to work on myself and exercise and blah, blah. And I'll figure out what I need to do. Well, the yoga center was closed. But there's a flyer on the window with the list of workshops that were coming up. And the very first one was called The Path, Creating Mission and Vision for Work and Life. And I went, okay, God, I hear you. So I went home and I called the facilitator, and we chatted, and she told me what it was about, and we chatted, and she told me how much it was, and we chatted, and I said, thank you very much for the information. And she said, well, are you coming? And I said, oh, no, probably not. And she said, is it the money? And I said, well, yeah, I told you I'm not working right now. And she said, so you needed a scholarship. And I didn't know what she meant. She said, just come. So I was there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, did not pay for the workshop, and it changed my life.
Yeah.
So much so that I went and I got certified and licensed. I flew to California and got certified and licensed to facilitate that workshop. And then I found out that they had nothing for teens in regards to passion and authenticity. So I co-created that same program for teenagers. And I've been mentoring teens in the high schools for the last 9 years.
Wow. That's
You
wonderful.
the
Awesome.
light bulbs go off on those 10th graders when they realize there's something different than.
Yeah.
So for me, my mission is to ignite, encourage, and amplify authenticity in myself and others. And I do that by waking them up to their full potential.
Love
That's
it.
what it's about.
I love that.
That's my everything.
Mhm.
So as much as I do have moments where I still shut down. I do have moments where I am shy, believe it or not. That's what I hate. You're not shy. What are you talking about? I am. I
Mhm.
am. Put me in a
Mhm.
corner with a group of people that I do not know, and you will not hear a word out of my mouth. But the
Mhm.
minute you feel safe and I love you, oh my God, you're in trouble.
You're going to hear lots of words at that point.
You hear lots of stuff then. So yeah, authenticity is such a passion of mine, and it's so true. Like in the book that I wrote, Wake Up, Change the Generational Cycle and Be Yourself. That's what
Yeah.
it's about. It's
Yeah.
time for us to take a stand.
Mhm.
You know, talk about the Native Americans, and it's so true. We did this to them. So as being authentic in my passion, what is mine to do if there is? I need to figure out what that is through the passion. So
Mhm.
it's statistically recorded that most men, sorry guys, I love you. I wish you'd get this. Most men, once they retire, they get sick, they have affairs or midlife crisis, or they die because they
Mhm.
don't. All their whole life has been work,
Yeah.
and now they don't have anything to look towards or
Yeah.
are passionate about. They did what they were told to do, and then once they completed that, they're just standing there. Now they're in their home, um, and their wife is saying, "Get out of my way," or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And it's very important for us to be able to tap into that passion, the
Mhm.
passion we all have it. It is a gift that we all have. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like I love my husband dearly, and I honestly see that pattern in him. He doesn't know how to value himself
Mhm.
without measuring his success at work
Yeah,
and what he does. He associates that with that's who he is. Um,
absolutely.
and a lot of people do that, and
Yeah,
that's what causes so much anxiety,
yeah,
mental health,
yeah,
heart attacks, all that kind of thing. Is that's not who you are. That's what
no,
you maybe are doing right now, but that is not who you are. And some people really struggle. They can never get to understanding that and connecting with that.
that was the biggest part for me. Both my parents died in their 50s. My dad was 54, my mom was 57. And the passion on my part, breaking that generational gap, neither one of them knew how awesome they truly were. And that broke my heart. And I really, for me, wanting to break the cycle so that I can heal them. Oh, that's another thing. So in that workshop retreat, when you heal yourself, you're healing seven generations behind you and seven in front of you.
Front
So
of you.
yes. Yeah. Oh, my heart. I just love it. So that passion of no, I know they did the very best they could where they were at.
Mhm.
So much more. There is
Mhm.
so much more there. And they
Yeah.
could have done so much more and have been. It's about being that human being, not the human doer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which like
exactly.
like you were talking about your husband, that's the doer part. That's not the
Mhm.
being.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a challenge I've seen with a lot of couples is, when retirement comes around and maybe they've spent their whole life together planning on, oh, here's what we're going to do
Yeah.
when we retire. And within a year, one or both pass
Yes.
away. And you sit back and you look at that and you think, why aren't younger people getting that message
Right.
that that idea of putting life off until later
Right.
is putting life off, period.
Exactly. That's absolutely. Absolutely.
And we're here to live. We're not here to put in time. We're
Oh,
not here to
no.
get to an end, and we're on a journey that doesn't have a destination.
Exactly.
It's
That
not.
then we're going somewhere else in the end. God only knows where, because I sure. So why not have fun while I'm going? You
Yeah.
know. So the latest and the greatest. I haven't broken this to you yet, ladies, but we have. Hubby's still working. He's 74.
Mhm.
And this is what I find interesting is when I first started doing facilitating that workshop, I said, "Babe, let me use you as a guinea pig. Come on, let's find out what your passion is." And he sat down and willingly, did the work, and he got it. And my first reaction was, "Oh my God, what if his passion doesn't involve me? What if
Mhm.
he has to get up and go somewhere and be somewhere else without me?" But that lasted for a second. And then it was, oh my God, if we brought both our powers together, just imagine what we could do. Right? So where
Yes.
we are right now is, yes, he's still working. He's an electrical engineer and he loves what he's doing. More power to him. You know, if I have to go to the desk and take him home after he's passed, I will. Not to say that that's what's going to happen. But I came to him one day recently after I'd been on a weekend retreat with I do a lot of retreats. No, I don't. That's exaggerating. I do a lot of girl weekends away with friends.
Nice.
Yeah, what, and that's the beauty of it. You got to have your own too. You're not locked at the butt. Oh, you're not locked on the arms or whatever. So I went and saw this. We went to this. My friend and I went to this museum, and it was the Gone with the Wind museum. And I'm going like, oh my God, why are we going there? And my friend kept saying, I want to go, I want to go. So we did, and I met the woman. It's her personal collection. She opened up a museum. I came home and I looked at my husband and I said, we're opening up a museum. And he said, okay, we have the largest Betty Boop collection in the world. We've been interviewed 3 times. I can send you the link. We were just filmed on a TV show that's going to be out mid-August. And I came home and I said, we're opening a museum. So right now we're looking for a building where we'll live upstairs in the museum and be downstairs. And I'm going to be working. Oh, I'm so excited. So,
Oh, you got to send me the link so I can send it to my eldest daughter. She's a big fan.
I have a 52 Chevy convertible Betty Boop car I ride around in, and I dress up as Betty. And yeah, so we've been interviewed by the news. So this is what I'm talking about. I still want fun in my life. My little girl she refuses to grow old. She keeps me in trouble all the time. And I'm thinking, what's a good thing I could do to share with others? Again, extending that passion and love. And so that's our next step. We're opening up a museum for Betty. There's not one anywhere in the world.
That's awesome.
So, but I also have an office to do the, weddings, the funerals, the talks, the whatever I need to. But Betty might be introduced along the way too. I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, Betty could be doing those funerals, those celebration of life.
A hoot. I did one wedding dressed as Betty. I'm sorry.
I love it. I love it.
So you gotta have passion. You gotta know what you're passionate about, because as you know, if you're living your passion, nothing feels like a job.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Yeah, and
and you'll never work a day in your life.
Exactly. And for me, as I get older, I really am taking to heart, and not in a negative way, but really in a positive way, just how short a time, the blink of an eye, we are here on this earth.
If you really
that's it. It's like it's a nanosecond if you think about it, right? And so that helps me as well to not take things so seriously, to not invest myself in having a position about something, because what does it really matter, right? It's like I still have my feelings and opinions and things like that, but I value yours and I value everyone else's, even if it is not the same as mine. It doesn't mean I don't sometimes struggle with that.
Sure.
But recognizing in the big scheme of things, what's important here.
Yeah, that's it. And we need to take a commercial break. So on that note, let's just take a quick commercial break. You're watching Spirit Cafe with Cheryl and Barbara and our wonderful guest, Reverend Janet. And we are talking about authenticity. And don't go away. We will be right back.
Yay!
New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
New Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience? Or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer with a camera and a microphone, we will share our knowledge with you. Behind the scenes or being the star, let us bless our one. Contact us at info@ntmedia.org.
And we're back. You're watching Spirit Cafe with Cheryl and Barbara, and you're on the New Thought Media Network, which is growing. Yay. And Reverend Janet is our guest. Today we're talking about authenticity. So, where were we? Passion. Yeah, when you do what you love to do, life is just easy. Like I do a couple of these shows. I got 3 shows this week, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's
Right,
just
right.
it's just fun. Right, Cheryl?
And
Yeah.
that's the whole
Well,
point.
It's so interesting because I've been doing a spiritual enrichment education class on discerning your purpose.
Mhm.
I don't know. Do we all know our purpose?
I do.
I do.
That's great. Good. I think I've actually finally found mine and been able to put it in words.
What
And
is it?
what's interesting is I've known it, but I haven't known how to say it. And I'm going to share it with you for the first time that I'm sharing it with anyone.
Right.
It's live and new here on Spirit Cafe. It is to inspire people to move beyond the boundaries of conventional thinking, encouraging a mindset that embraces curiosity, innovation, and open-mindedness.
Nice.
Beautiful.
How does it feel when you read it?
I am so excited by it. And that's how I know that that is my purpose statement. So what I realized as well is, for example, for the longest time, my personal email is shifting perspectives, which ties in exactly with that purpose statement, right? At one time, I was going to start something and call it Shifting Matters. Because there's a double meaning there, right? Shifting matters and shifting matters. And so I never for the longest time knew what it was to be able to put in words. I thought to myself, I'm here to challenge the status quo. Courageous conversations.
Exactly.
Well, I'm here to to help people shift the way they think. But I finally found a way to put that into a purpose statement, which really excites me. So thank you for sharing.
Man, that's so
today.
good.
Sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in Ottawa a few years ago, I did this workshop. I presented the workshop. I did Night of Dreams. I did The Path, and I was doing 3 workshops while I was there. It was I never, I was tired, but I couldn't sleep because I was so excited. I'm meeting all these amazing people. I have to say, if I ever do get to move to Canada, I have my own family there already. I mean, it's a miracle. I feel like it's home to me. And I remember as a gift that one gentleman was in the class, and his work was engraving onto mirrors or glass. And so one day, one of the participants asked me what my favorite color was, and it's emerald green and gold. And they gifted me a circle with my mission statement etched in that glass.
Oh,
And
nice.
every time
Beautiful.
in the mirror, my statement's right there, and I get to see it while I look at me. It's amazing.
That's
And it has made such a difference in my life. And I've gotten to the point that if there is an issue, or well, let me go there again. The retreat for a moment. The first day, it's about grief, and there was this one person that was in a lot of grief, and she was handling it in the most healthy way. And at one point, she took it out on me in a very nasty way. Now, this precious thing that I am,
That we all are, right?
authentic, genteel Southerner, about jumped out of that chair and wanted to go outside and kick her butt. But in my head, I would say, my mission is to ignite, encourage, and amplify authenticity in myself and others. If I go out and kick her butt, is that being authentic? Well, kind of. Part of me really do it. But it was a huge step, a learning lesson. I chose to confront. I chose not to shut down. I chose not to leave. And those are all the things I used to do.
yeah.
Coming from the background I came from. So I have it. I've got it ingrained. I can speak it on spot if I need to. It's my everything. Because if I'm not being what I say I am, then there's something for me to learn. It's got nothing to do with anybody else. If that makes
That's
sense.
such an important thing, that whatever's happening on the outside,
Yeah.
There's something in it for us. And what we need to own is not necessarily the person's projection, but our experience of it.
Right. And that was
So,
the big thing.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I went to the facilitators and I told them, right off the bat, you said this was a safe place. I do not feel safe.
Yeah.
And I said, so if you see me getting up and leaving, you'll know why. Their response is, do not leave. Don't leave before you talk to us.
Yeah.
And so, again, it was a lesson of setting boundaries for myself out of respect for me, out of being healthier, God willing, and then also not reacting like I normally do. You know what I'm saying? Learning all the stuff I've learned in the years that I've done this work, wow, I finally get to put it into use. And I did it. I was so proud of myself.
And you should be, because
huge.
yeah, it is huge and it's hard to do.
Oh, girl, and then try to focus on doing the work that I'm really there for, which that was part of it. But
that was definitely part of it. And what a huge win, right?
A huge one. And she came and apologized later, so it was good.
A win for both of you.
Yes.
A win for both of you. I think we forget that sometimes, that when a person acts out, that there's something going on in them that has absolutely nothing to do with us.
Right.
It's it's like in the book The Four Agreements, in the beginning, when he talks about, imagine you're in a village and all the people have sores on the outside of their body, and you go to give them a hug out of love.
Right.
And it causes them pain.
Right.
And that's what we're doing, is we're touching those sore spots in people. And I think that's my job.
Right.
To not shy away from that, but to do it in a way that I can be there to help with the metamorphosis, that shift. And that's the challenge that we're faced with, is, can we be who we say we are? Like, my thing is, I am love expressing. And so everything needs to come from that. And when I'm not coming from that, that phrase pops into my head.
Yeah. We got it's
darn.
Great. Oh, but we're still human.
Of course we are. Yeah.
And not an excuse. And it was interesting too, when you're in an environment, and let's just say I've done work on myself for 20 some odd years, and there's somebody coming into the group that's not done any.
Yep.
Again, how do you find the balance to honor and respect them so they can do what they need to do, but to also to take care of myself, you know?
And that's where the boundaries come in too, where we, we speak truth,
Yes.
right? We're not like, I think nice is a 4-letter word, worse than the one that we're not supposed to say on it. And I really believe that, because that being nice means I'm not setting boundaries. I'm not standing up for myself. I'm shrinking.
Yes.
And I'm perpetuating the idea of women being small, frail, whatever, which is so far from the truth. We are immense powerhouses, which I think, more women need to really sort of shake off that old idea that women need to be protected and looked after and all that, because that is so far from the truth.
Yeah. A lot of them don't know it, but that is so true. Well, it's the big thing again about breaking that generational tendency.
Yes.
I mean, okay, this is the one that really gets me, ladies. We still, well, great, I can't think of it now. Of course, the lullaby that we still sing to our children. Ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. And as a kid, we were singing, and do we know what that was originally created from? They
The
had
Black Plague.
the plague. We're still singing it. They had the flowers in their pockets because the dadgum smell was so bad. Hello, it's 2000 and what? And most of us don't even know that these have meanings. We just do it because that's what Mama sang to me when I was a baby.
And there's so much good music out there that's simple. Like, I love myself so much that I could love you so much, that you could love you so much, that you could start loving me.
Yeah.
Let's sing that to our babies.
Right.
I'm gonna say something here, and no disrespect, and this is another topic for conversation. But if we don't know what it means, what does it matter? If we don't know where it comes from, because it's a new generation now that has no idea. Maybe that was then, but this is now, and I loved playing that. And I'm thinking, did it do any harm? Did it? Do you know what I mean? It's like. Are we being disrespectful if we still use that song today?
You're so cute. No, we are not being disrespectful by any means. However, once I found out what it meant, then I chose not to sing it anymore and chose another one like Barbara's talking about, because most of them were created in a very sad or dysfunctional reason. But no, you can sing it all you want to, honey.
Oh, thank you.
Full permission.
And I think, that's important though. Sorry, Barbara. Yeah. Once you find out, you attach a meaning, right?
Right.
You attach a meaning, and so now it has power. But if you don't have that attachment, and if you don't know the meaning and you don't know the history, it's just a fun game to play.
That is a good point. And I picked the wrong example, didn't I?
London Bridge is falling down, falling down.
London Bridge is falling down, my
fair lady. Yeah.
Well,
it's a very good point, Cheryl. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think that's important. Like if we go back to the Bible and the metaphysical interpretations and we look at, God says to Adam, whatever you name a thing, that's what it's going to mean for you. Right. And so when we name that song, oh my God, it's about the plague. Now that's what it's about for us.
Yeah.
Right. And when we name an experience bad and wrong, that's for us. It's not for everybody else, but we will experience it that way because we've labeled it.
Yeah. And it's not to say that it was an example of, there's the other generational stuff I could use, but I won't go there.
Absolutely. And all of them, like I used to love Enid Blyton, and I don't know if people know who Enid Blyton was. She was an author. She did Noddy, She wrote for little kids and teenagers, and she was awesome. And she had Noddy and I can't remember. And you know, I mean, this sounds, and please forgive me, there was a character in there. It was a little raggedy thing called the Gollywog.
I've
Now,
heard that before.
they've banned that and they've taken things out and, you know, out of these books. And I'm like, who has got the sick mind here?
Yeah.
I never in my life associated that with racism, with, you know, being disrespectful or being,
Right.
and, you know, and so for me, we as adults often interfere in how we perceive things and put that on our children.
That's what I'm talking about.
And then how is that going to change their way of thinking if we've now highlighted this and made it wrong?
True. That's very true.
Right?
Yep.
So, yeah, I just, I struggle with things like that.
Sure.
That's what makes this show so great.
It is. It is.
You know, is that we bring in different perspectives. And I love that so much.
Very, very true.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love for people to put in the comments what they think too, right? But you know, I think again, it's really about thinking about who gives something meaning, and where is the damage, right? Because to me, the damage by banning something, we know that highlights it even more.
Absolutely.
Right.
And Cheryl, that's a great point, because we also know those people that are banning, it's about them and their issue. It has nothing to do with the book. It's their need of control. It's their need of being, you know, they don't have that love, that passion for self. So they're going to reach out and create something else so to take it off of them. Yeah. And create something else. Yeah. And until you be who you are truly, all that crap would go away.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
The value of authenticity.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Kelsey's she's sending you greetings, Janet, and says she loves you. Kelsey Stelting.
Oh my gosh. Aw, Kelsey's God, Colorado. Yeah. She gave me my baby dog. She gave me my puppy.
Oh.
She is something. This woman, she's an author, and she's writing her own books, and she's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Adopted 3 brothers all at once.
Nice.
Wow.
She's amazing. And then she gave me Mama. I have a papillon. You know what a papillon is? French for
butterfly.
Butterfly, yeah.
So they're in the shape of butterfly wings. And I named them Namaste, so that when he sits, we say Namaste.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh, that's adorable.
So if somebody says, what's their name? And I'll say Nama, and they'll say Mama. And I'll say, no, Nama. So when he sits, we say Namaste, and they go, huh? Then I know they're not my peeps. Just saying.
I love
that. That's so fun.
Yeah, that is fun.
He is an awesome.
So let's go back to authenticity. What does that really mean?
I think it's finding yourself and choosing to live from that and giving up your attachment to being liked by everybody or fitting in, but rather standing out.
Nice.
Love that.
Yeah.
Being real.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's interesting, because for me, it has been a struggle. Childhood was a challenge, of course, because of the dynamics that occurred. However, and I still struggle with it. But I know I'm working towards it, and I know that if I'm being real and somebody calls me on something, and I love this because the movie, what was that with Jane Fonda and the women that went to see Brady, 80 Brady or whatever it was? There's a movie out. Anyway, one of the things I love they said to each other before they had a conversation, tough love time. And I knew, oh God,
Here we go.
but I have that, and I can be okay because I know they're doing it. And
that was a great movie, actually. I just watched it a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Tom Brady. They followed Tom Brady. It was very cool.
It was awesome. But anyway, the thing is, being authentic for me, when I shut down, when I feel sad, when I get nasty, I have a mouth. I do have a mouth on me. Learned it from my daddy. And it saved my butt many times. But when I go there, I know immediately I'm not being who I say I am and who I want to be seen as. And so I always have, again, it's a tool. I always carry this little card with me. It's got it on there.
Nice.
And that's in my purse. I have one laminated in my wallet. I have it on the mirror. I have it everywhere because this is the truth of all truths for me. Right. And if I'm being authentic, then I have no right to be teaching, speaking, facilitating, or whatever to anybody else. I have to say, I'm so tired of the hypocrisy at the podium. Places.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be who you're telling me to be, then don't even waste your time with me because I can't go there anymore. I just
absolutely
can't.
Yeah.
You know what
That's another form of control, right? Controlling.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Afraid of what somebody might say or do or have influence over or yeah.
I remember speaking one Mother's Day, and I was a guest speaker in a church, and I mentioned that I'd been married 5 times, and there was a collective say what in the audience. And then after they had that pause and were like, did we hear what she said? I said, I was giving Liz Taylor a run for her money and fell a little short, and the place erupted. And afterwards I thought, oh my gosh, like they are never going to have me back. I had women coming up to me, and there was a lot more to the talk, but that was the one that was kind of raw for me. I was like, holy crap, I can't believe I said that. But people were coming up to me in tears. And one woman came up to me and she said, that is the first honesty I've ever heard from the pulpit. And this is a churchgoer who's been going for years. And she said, whenever you're speaking, I'll be here.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. People feel it.
Yeah.
They feel it, right? And we feel it. We feel when we're being authentic or not. Like you said, Janet, right? We can feel that. And people feel that from us as well. When we're trying to pretend we're something that we're not, I think that, we get seen through there too, right? It's just, that's
or
not.
to hide something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's Barbara. That's all.
That's why I love you so much.
What am I hiding today?
Y'all are getting honest.
Let's get honest. So we're down to our last 5 minutes. That's 5, not that. That's 10. 5. So closing thoughts. What do you want people to take away from this time together? Janet, what would be the most important little tidbit you could share?
The world needs us. And the best way we can serve the world, that could be one person at a time, is to be as real as possible. And to know your own worth, that you are loved just as you are. And we need.
You are essential to the unfolding of the universe at this time.
Amen.
Beautiful.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Cheryl, my sister, what?
Yeah, I think that was going to be. I was just going to say, be real, and for me, checking too is when we think or say something, checking whether that is really real for us or not,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes we think it is, and sometimes maybe it's not. So just sitting with things so that we can really connect with ourselves and who we really are.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I heard something by Jay Shetty this morning while I was listening to a podcast, and he shared in there that, as a monk, the first thing that they would do is they would spend half their time in meditation and reflection, and then the other half of their time in service. And he said that one of the things he used to do was to be the everything for everybody, giving, giving, giving. And he said that is the most selfish act,
Yes.
because we're, and I thought, wow. So that, because he says, if I don't fill the tank, I've got nothing. That's not his words, that's mine. I have nothing to give.
That's
So
right.
we have to look after ourselves first and foremost. Find our voice, find our passion. Take time each day in meditation, in prayer, whatever. Find us. And then from that full tank,
Yes.
service to humanity. And we will be able to give that gift, whatever it is we came in with, right?
Right.
Our unique, special self, because we're all unique, special.
Yeah, unique, special, whole, and complete.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Janet. It's
Thank
been
you.
wonderful.
And it's been an awesome experience once again.
Always,
ladies.
always wonderful to be with you, to
Thank you.
have these conversations and still to be able to laugh
Yeah.
and cry and everything in between. Very special, and we look forward to seeing you again.
I hope so.
And Kelsey's saying in tears, thank you. So
Love you.
sweet.
Yeah.
And Janet's going to be on my Joy show next week, Friday, on the 16th. So stay tuned for that. We're going to talk about her journey and her writing and her passion. And I'm sure we'll get into a little bit of this authentic stuff as well. So just such a great time with you today, Reverend Janet, and of course with Cheryl. Always love spending time with you, and our great producer, Deja, in the background, hiding in the back. Hey, Deja, making everything beautiful.
Yeah.
She's our big support. And you're watching the New Thought Media Network, and we really are a going concern in the world. We're shifting consciousness, and we're making really, really conscious, creative, beautiful programming. So be sure to share this with everybody you know, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you all again next week. And July 5th, we move to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. See you soon,
everyone.
Bye from Texas.
Now. Love you.
On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network. Come be you. And please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace and blessings.